All right. And we're live. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels. Glad you are here. You're joined tonight by Anthony Peregringo and Sean Nafsker in moderation. We have a special show tonight, and it's special because it's your show tonight. Tonight, this show is going to be a open topic show. So if you have some questions, you want to just put those in the chat. And if you're so inclined and you'd like to join the show, we'll even send out some invites to some very special selected individuals. You can jump on the show tonight. So glad that you're here. Do want to just quickly go through order of business. The show has some special sponsors. One of those is PPG Smoke. PPGsmoke.com is the website. Go check them out. Also, the show is brought to you by paramotorprops.com. If you blow up a prop and you need to get a new one, it is a great place to get one quick. Paramotorprops.com is the website, and you can reach out to those guys on their website and get really good deals on stuff. They've got all kinds of resources too. Go check out their website. Also, the show is brought to you by paraorange.com. Paraorange Products is the website. Paraorangeproducts.com. They've got all kinds of things to protect your gear, prop covers. They've got weatherproof motor covers and wind socks. They've got streamers, and you can even buy wings through them. Larry is your contact. Chris is the one that makes everything. She's also known as the bag lady. Go check them out. Their website is paraorangeproducts.com or just paraorange.com. They got both of those websites. Those are both theirs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Robert, did you know their pre-flight flags? I had a little something to do with that too.
You did, huh?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Ask Larry. Cool. Larry tell you about it. Yeah.
Pre-flight.
Pretty sweet.
Flag. It's a tongue twister.
It's something to allow people to know that you're in pre-flight and not to bother you.
Yeah, I like that.
And yeah,
because usually when you have some kind of an event afterwards, you reflect and you go, you know what happened? It was people came up to talk to me when I was doing my pre-flight inspection. I forgot to put my helmet on, fell off mid-flight. It's up to you. Only you can protect you. This show is also brought to you by American Allied Drains and Plumbing. If you're in the San Diego area and you're in need of plumbing, American Allied Drains and Plumbing is your company. If you mention Paragliding Talk, which you know you can do that, you'll get a 10% discount on their services. And they don't mess around, man. They do everything. You'll be impressed. So if you need you're in the area, you need some help, they're the ones. And maybe you're out of towner and you just need some pointers. They'll help you out. That's American Allied Drains Plumbing. 844-777-9055. So thank you so much for being a part of the show. We're in episode 186 tonight. And for those of you that maybe haven't caught some of the recent shows, you can go back on the website, paraglidingtalk.com, go to past episodes, and you can check out some of the great ones. By the way, the last week's episode was amazing. We're going to try to actually have that guy on again. That was a really good show. Learned a bunch of stuff from him. And it's the first time that we had like a dedicated free mini wing guy. And so pretty cool. And also there's a quick announcement for the PPG Smoke stuff. If you're going to the Endless Foot Drag, they've got a handful of the hearing protection headsets, Unity headsets. These things are amazing. But anyways, they're gonna be out there if you want to give them a shot. Want to check them out? Maybe you want to buy a pair. Nice. Paraorangeproducts.com.
Ripman Ryden's at EFD right now.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, just chiming in. Yeah.
I thought I sent him an
tell
invite.
Everybody I said hello. And sorry I couldn't make it. Maybe next year, though. But definitely hello.
Endless Foot Drag.
Harley Milne's in the audience.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What up, Harley? And Sneaky B. That's cool. Maybe Robert Michaels will stop calling me Big Tex. Laugh out loud. Sneaky B. No, you're Big Tex. There's DP. We invited DP on the show. Folks, welcome to the stage. Dave Perry, everyone. Dave Perry. He's logging in. He's going to get his stuff together here. Sound and audio. There he is.
What's up?
Yeah. Show just got
everybody.
like 20% better.
We're amping it up now, people.
Yeah. We're
Feeling
ramping
super.
it. Literally just got better. That's all it took. We have low standards around here. So.
All right. I'm in under the wire.
Yeah. He made it in. Also, want to mention we're going to be creeping into the season where we do the what do we call the
that thing.
Freedom of Flight Leadership Award.
Yeah,
that thing.
Say it fast.
So each year, Paragliding Talk, we want to honor people who do great things in the community for the flying community mainly, but also just in general, because the flying community is a very special group of people, and we're kind of like a family, and then so with that, anyways, we do this each year. So stay tuned. I'm going to be sending out an email, and that email is going to have the details of what you need to do to nominate someone for that Freedom of Flight Leadership Award. And this is somebody that's done something exceptional for the flying community. And maybe it's just been somebody that contributes, free time to teach people, or like I think last year was Todd Scandrett from Resurgence PG. Is that right? Who got chosen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he started a 501c3 and raised money, got people who are maybe messed up from PTSD, going to war, things like that, or amputees and guys that have some struggles in life. And so what happened is Todd, he found paramotoring, and it pulled him out of kind of a funky time in his life. And he said, man, if paramotor can do this for me, I think it can do this for some other folks. And all of a sudden now they're raising thousands of dollars for it's an amazing thing. So anyways, he got the Freedom of Flight Leadership Award last year. We're going to do another one. Pretty cool. Dustin T. Meyer, howdy ho, neighborly neighbor. Welcome. Mark Rogers is in the house. Welcome. Glad you guys are making it.
Dustin's a local guy, Robert?
Dustin T. Meyer has a very special place in my heart. He let me borrow his paramotor when
before you knew how to fly.
Before I knew how to fly.
Woo!
He let me fly his he has an Atom 80, and he let me fly his wing, and this was at the Salton Sea Flying, because some people were like, dude, you should show up to the Salton Sea. And I was like, I don't have a motor, and it's kind of jacked up for me to show up there and just watch. It's tormenting for me, and if I do fly, it's gonna have to be some other person's gear. So anyways, they tricked me and convinced me to go. It was actually Gringo that convinced me. Yeah. But Gringo wasn't gonna let me use his gear, but he volunteered T. Meyer, and T. Meyer said yes. No, that was pretty rad though. Let me just paint a picture of what happened. We have our tent and all of our areas set up at the Salton Sea Fly. Super fun. I mean, just the atmosphere is just incredible. So we're out there. We've got our little camp set up. I got my kids with me, and they got their stuff set up, and we've got little tables everywhere and our little, camping gear and stuff. And then, so you're literally just camped on the runway of this. It's a giant sandy, beach. I don't know if I want to call it a beach, but it is kind of like a beach. It's a toxic beach, but it's great. And anyways,
rocky.
A little rocky, lot of fish.
A lot of shells. Yeah, a lot of
shells. Fish bones. There was tons of. I still have fish bones from when I went.
Yeah.
From where I was like, oh look, there's a whole spine of a fish.
Yep.
Well, I'll just put this in this box and take it home with me.
Yeah, fishicles.
Got an album from the fish bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these guys, it was actually Predator paramotor and Dusty Meyer, and they both come in like eagles, and they just and they land right in our camp, and they put their wings down there.
Okay, that's right. I met him. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was so cool! You just came and landed right here. Oh, that's so awesome!" And T Meyer was like, "Dude, you want to fly my setup?" I was like, "Yeah." And he let me go take it for a rip, and I didn't destroy it. Came in and landed right where I took off from, and I was really excited. Yeah, it was amazing. So, note to self, everyone, you should go to Salton Sea Flying. I think you should.
It's Sean came last year. Sean, I'm sure you enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
obviously, it's this lake got contaminated by irrigation, by the lack of water coming from the Colorado River, plus the chemicals from the farming that's abundant around it. But it was a heyday in the 50s and 60s for water skiing and so forth. Now you won't find a boat on it. But Sean definitely picked up the nice aroma. It was a great, beautiful 1964 aroma coming off the shore.
I didn't smell a thing, but everybody else was telling me that it was, it smelled like fish, but I had no idea. Like,
because you can't smell.
I can't smell. Brain injury.
Yep.
So yeah,
we say Sean is special.
You were too close to it, Sean.
You had that fish. Smell it all.
You had fish bones on your person, so that's probably just threw you off.
Yep, that's what happens when you have fish bones on your person.
Yeah, make a bracelet or a necklace out of it or something. It's kind of cool. There was no flesh on the bones. These bones had been like in the whatever you call it, desert sand, beach sand, rocky sand, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what you would call it. It's just literally like piles of seashells.
It's kind of like, it's like crumbled seashells and bones.
It ends up everywhere though.
Yeah, and that's what makes it is like the tilapia bones from all the dead fish that died in the water. It's tilapia, I think is what they call it.
It's sharp, and if you decide to do a tip drag, it'll shred it a little bit. I think the Schmanzi was out there, and he tore his up a little bit.
Shanzy.
Mm-hmm.
Shanzy. We need to get Shanzy back on the show. I really like him.
Only because he's Christian. You've got such a forgiving heart.
That is not true. That is not why. He's a polarizing figure. I like him.
I'd be interesting to see how you would do the wheel while he's on. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I know. Poor soul. I don't know.
I'm just saying. No, I don't know how I did it either, but that's a lot.
Hey, look, we talk a lot of smack, but he brought 250 people live to watch that.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got some friends.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to pull up some.
And you know what, Robert? We got some friends too, because look how many people are on watching the show.
How many people are watching tonight? 34 poor people. Oh my gosh. You have no good flying that you have to come and watch this show.
Well, they come to see you, Robert. To see what we're bringing to the table here, what we're sharing with folks.
I think they want to see guests on the show. They don't necessarily want to see me. Although
we do have a guest. We have Dave Perry.
That's right.
In the flesh.
DP is with us tonight. I'm trying to pull up some footage. So I do have a topic tonight, by the way. I do have something I want to talk about. If I could just get there we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. I'm going to share this as soon as I can connect.
Okay. Yeah. So
go ahead.
I figured while you're pulling stuff up, I'd just go through a little slide.
Please.
There's Harley Milne and JB from myself, the Ugly Raptors. And
by the way, I flew with Jay on Saturday, and Jay is a beast.
He is, and he's a little over a year into it, and he's got some skills. So, he just, he's out there having some fun. He's safe though, right, Jay? He's safe.
That's right. Where's Jay at?
He's in the chat. I saw him earlier.
Is he? Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah, he's in there.
Look at this. This is when you go to the local bar / restaurant / whatever you want it. This is what they'll serve you Campbell's style, salt and sea tilapia testicles, fish. You know what? So sorry.
Wow.
That's
Is that real?
Yeah, those are cans. You
How
know,
much are those?
Oh, look at Vita Ozzy. Where's JP?
Ooh.
Not DP. JP. Where's yeah, we know all about those. Anyway,
Tell us what happened with that.
With this one?
With that pull starter. Whoa, what the heck? You had a picture of me launching with Dustin T. Myers gear.
Oh, there you go.
What?
Yeah. That's good stuff.
That is good stuff. Throwback.
No, this is last year. You had your motor. The year before
okay.
You didn't, right?
All right, never mind.
All right, I'll stop sharing here. This is good.
No, you're good. I haven't been able to pull up the footage yet.
All right.
Weren't you were flying our motor last year, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody's motor.
That's right. Our motor. Those poor souls. Can you imagine how nervous you would be to loan somebody your motor? It's like, hey, I'm gonna let you.
So what is the unspoken rule? Isn't it, I mean, you break, you bust a prop, you bend a frame or something. I mean, the unspoken rule is you gotta repair it, right?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Say pretend it didn't happen and just kind of slowly walk away.
A crack in the frame.
Slowly walk away. This is not great screen sharing, but I want to just show you this amazing. Let's see if we can do this.
Is this from last weekend?
Dumpster fire.
Is this?
Yes.
This is so I'll cue it up. Robert finally hit a spot that we fly from. It's 3,000 feet MSL, and it's below Horse, which is a free flight site. So he's been there, and this is him taking off here.
Yeah. Sorry, I had
change the view. Change the view to just you.
Yeah. Let me do that real quick. Speaker. Yeah. So, anyways, I just want to share this beautiful scenery. I know it's kind of not great footage, but I'm probably going to edit up a video for this one just because it was so amazing. And that's all you get to see. So what ended up happening here is I learned a bunch of stuff about launching paramotors at high altitudes. And I literally questioned my life decisions when I was trying to launch. I mean, it was literally one of the more challenging things that I've had to do in a long time, not because I'm fat. I guess
we're going to hear from the people that are like 7,000 feet and above, right?
Oh, I know.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah. It's like the wisdom tooth people. You try to. I had 2 wisdom teeth, and don't try to tell that story.
Yeah.
I think it was Brian Regan, stand-up comedian. He's like, I made the mistake to try to tell my wisdom tooth story, because don't try to do that. He said that the 4 wisdom tooth people will parachute down and cut you off at the pass. Halt with your 2 wisdom tooth story.
Hey, Randy Clark is one of our Ugly Raptors guys. He's flown off of Horse there many times at either free flight or hang gliding for years now. He had a question in the chat. Was Robert the only one that launched from the gravel lot? So next door is a gravel lot that was occupied by SDG&E, and it's no longer SDG&E, so they just kind of left it. And then we used to launch from the grass, and it has a slight uphill. Besides being at 3,000 feet, 0 wind, and slightly uphill. But he wanted to know if you were the only one that launched from the gravel.
No, actually, we all ended up launching from there. Eventually. So the Jay took off right away. He had no problem. And I want to talk about my mistakes. And by the way, I've talked to numbers of people, Anthony included, that this is, for whatever reason, this particular launch is very difficult. And for a few reasons. One, the altitude it's a lot different launching at a higher altitude. And I know it's not like a huge difference. I think it's like 3,400 feet above sea level. Well, when we take off running, you're actually running kind of uphill. You don't realize that, but it looks like it's flat. It's not. It's a little bit uphill. Then the other factor that kind of messed me up was that I was trying to launch a 19-meter Sirocco 2. It's that's my wing of choice. And the reason I'm taking you through my thought process, I thought that the idea was that it's kind of a lightweight material. And I thought, oh, well, I'll be able to whip that thing up in the air with no problem. And because it's lightweight material, just a little puff of wind and I'm good to go. Not the case. I got the wing up, but then I was really embarrassed. And if it wasn't for Chris Dewey kind of giving me some encouragement, I was literally going to just put my stuff in the Jeep and go home. I was really defeated and exhausted physically. I think I talked about it in an episode like three or four episodes ago, and I talked about being in shape. Yeah, I should have listened to that episode because I was completely exhausted. I'm going to do a screen share on one of the botched launches just so you can see. And I'm just not that good, folks. Let's go here. Share. We want to share that one. Yeah. So let's just let it rip. I don't know. Oh, I didn't press the optimize share. Please hold. Do it every time. Every time. We're going to share sound too, just for fun, just to see what Chris said when I screwed up my launch. There we go.
You said, ha ha.
Okay, Robert, go ahead. I'm questioning my life decisions right here. Like, what am I doing? Boom. Did not bring the wing up high. So, what in the world just happened? Oh, and it grabbed a line. Did you guys catch that? Oh,
yep.
Defeat. Oh, I was so mad. Yeah, so
is this attempt 2?
Yeah. Pulled hard to the right. Overcorrection.
Yeah. Also, I think I literally launched with a little bit of a tailwind because after that, the wind literally changed directions, and then we launched from that rocky launch. Yeah. So you guys probably want to see the good one, huh?
Yeah.
Let's wrap that. Let's throw that on there. So numbers of things, and I'll let you share your history with launching from there and some of the feedback that you've got from launching from that spot.
Yeah. While you're queuing, sure.
Yeah, please. I'm just going to send myself some. So
I mentioned Matthew Pesci's in the group. The guy's a beast when it comes to launching and landing. He really makes it look easy. Although I have caught him on a day or two at different locations where he got frustrated and things weren't just were not going his way. But my first time there was on my older machine, which was garbage, and it didn't have the thrust, it didn't have whatever. And I just remember running and feeling zero pressure on my lines. So you run out of room, you reset and you go and do it again. So I did it like 3 or 4 times and enough was enough. So watch the other guys fly off. And the next time, kind of same thing, a little bit, wind was a little shifty, whatever, if there was any. And then finally the third time was fairly recent. I don't like that. For me, I'm close to Tijuana, down to the border, and it's about an hour and 15-minute drive. So I don't like San Diego. We got to drive out of town to find an LZ. And I don't like driving an hour and a half just to, drink a cup of coffee and twiddle my thumbs and then go home. So finally I got up on the last one. I made a 110% effort and felt myself getting lift, and it still took a while, and don't sit down. And finally it just kind of lifted me up, but it was rewarding because we got to go check out the lake that's near there, and it's just beautiful scenery. So yeah.
In my defense, free flight pilots, we rely on wind. We almost never forward launch. So forward launching that's very foreign to me. And I know I just need to spend some time doing forwards with my gear. But by the time I get my gear out, and by the time
Right when you pull that wing up the right side, you're giving more A's on your right side than your left side.
let's go back. Let's do this again.
So you can see the streamer on the left.
The last video, you did the exact same thing too. The right hand side, right there. It's shifting to the right hand side. You see how you had a collapse in the front part of the wing, where you gave so much more A on the one side than the other side. It kind of, you know.
You see my face of frustration right here, like, gosh.
Yeah.
Watch me. Just unreal.
You know, it's interesting because you did a forward launch, and obviously free flight guys, they launch when the wind's on, you know, and you're almost always reverse, right?
Yep.
So back east, I know you guys on the flat lands and stuff, you guys like to launch forward in reversible wind, which can also be a little dangerous and stuff. But yeah, it's interesting.
If it's reversible, I always choose reverse. Always. It's just so much easier. There's no sense in fighting. You know, if the wind's blowing enough to bring the wing up, do a reverse. It's so much easier. You have control over the wing easier. You can see what's going on. Yeah.
Mark Rogers said downwind free flight launch is tricky. Oh my gosh, that is true. We did a wind was blown over the back, and we were at Blossom, and it was, this is not a good idea, folks. By the way, don't ever do this. I don't know what we were thinking in our minds. This is a no wind launch, but it was actually blown over the back, probably like maybe 3 to 5 miles an hour. I mean, it was obvious, but it was cool. You know, when it was all said and done.
Yeah.
Rip Man just called me out. He said, Robert, no yelling in here, Rip Man. What are you yelling about? Yeah, so it was, hey there, Chris Dewey's in the chat. Max and Para, what's up, man?
Para.
Yeah.
What's up, Chris? JB's in there. You flew with Jay, Chris, and the three of you guys flew, right? Last weekend?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so kind of back to what I was saying about giving up, man, I was literally exhausted and pretty mentally defeated. Like, what the heck's going on here? And, you know, in my mind, I'm much better. So when I'm out there failing multiple, I botched 4 launches. It was really frustrating and exhausting. And to boot, I had put on some extra clothes because I was like, well, it's going to be cold. Let's just, I don't want to be getting cold. So I was soaking wet. Yeah.
So did you ever have a shut off rule? Like, you know, if I do 5 failed launches, I just stop. I'm not going to bother with it. Or
I don't have a certain amount of launches, but in free flight, we have a 3 strike rule. And we've talked about this in a couple episodes, but it's worth bringing up. That's a great topic, Sean. 3 strike rule. So when I'll give you some examples. You bought new gear. So you got a new wing, new harness. That's 1 strike for sure. You're going to fly some new gear. Strike 2 is you pulled your wing up and got dragged all over launch and plucked and slammed on the ground. That's a strike 2, you know. And then maybe you accidentally, I don't know, grabbed the wrong risers. Instead of grabbing the A's, you grab the rear risers and you try to launch and you just drag your wing on the ground for a second. It's like, what the heck? What, you know, so there's some numbers of different things that can be a strike. So what, maybe you guys can talk, what was your final strike? What's your final straw? And because I mean, there's stuff riding on that trip, you know, like Gringo said, might drive an hour, don't fly.
You guys stick with the 3 strike rule. If it's a new wing, new field, or new equipment, if there's 3 news, if there's 3 issues that I run across, let's say, the winds keep shifting, I set up for a reverse, it's probably better I do a forward. I go set up forward and it goes to reverse conditions. Yeah, um, if I'm not awake for 2 hours, I don't go up. That's another one of those of the three. If I haven't been up for 2 hours before flight, I will not send it. I'd much rather be coherent.
How else are you going to take a nap if when you're in the air? I'm
I
launching in
don't
30 minutes.
I don't
Take a little nap.
sleep when I fly. I'm sorry. I stay fully attentive to what I'm doing.
I have had some really chill days at Blossom. And when you're gliding back from El Cap and you bring it's so cozy in the pod harness and especially on a cold day, and you just bring your hands in and you just kind of hold them like this. Let your toggles just kind of dangle there and you just
make yourself feel like a sack of potatoes.
Weight shift all the way back. Yeah. I can
like
sometimes I just lean back and kind of I won't fall asleep, but I will rest my arms because your arms get tired. Oh, that's something I wanted to say too. I just feel weird. Like I'll just yank on my brakes and whip into a sat and play around on my wing, my free flight stuff. But with the motor, I'm like, no, I don't even like to do wing overs because I feel like my arm is hitting the swing arm. There's like no room in between the riser and the backup. I'm just kind of like this little narrow. So when I'm flying around, it's just like, is there something I'm missing? Like, should I sit on a phone book? I mean, what the heck? I feel like my swing arms want to, I don't know. I don't
it's
get
because it's because you're used to the weight shift capabilities of the free flight harness. And when you lean like you do in a free flight harness with the motor on your back, you're gonna smack your ribs a little bit with those arms. You're gonna hit your underneath your bicep. You're gonna hit that muscle there sometimes when you're doing a serious weight shift and hard pull. It's gonna happen. It's just part of getting used to it, and that's the differences between free flight and paramotor.
Right.
Yeah, things are a little bit different. That's all. You will get used to that in time and how to move with it to where you're not, banging your rib up against it or banging your forearm. But
what do you have? A medium harness? You don't have you don't have a large extra large. You have small,
I think
medium.
I'm large.
Then maybe that's probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, I'm a smaller frame, smaller guy.
And plus, I mean, if you're hitting here, I'm 6'2", so those things are, not quite underneath my armpits, but I get it. I don't know. You gotta either the harness is not the right size, or maybe it's not adjusted right, but you shouldn't feel like you're sunk into it, like you're in a, oversized chair. But
yeah. I'm a grown man stuck in a little kid's body. JP Tulo said you just need more seat time. Your comfort will increase and you'll get used to it. I think you're right. I'm growing more comfortable with it, but man, I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same. I really
I think that has a lot to do with it. The differences between paramotoring and free flight paragliding, because you're so used to that, having that free range of motion and not having anything there. And then you got this big metal arm there, and it's like,
something's in the way. Yep. It definitely feels restrictive.
It is.
Yeah, I'll get used to it. Oh yeah. And the other thing is how far you can pull your brakes. I feel like I'm limited on how far I can pull my brake and not just the wing, but as in, if I want to do a really hard bank where I'm almost spinning the glider, I should be able to do that and not feel restricted. Like I can't really go much farther if I wanted to. And that's what I feel like. Anyways, that's Randy Clark mentioned this. He said, the other thing with that launch, talking about the base horse, it's at the base of the mountains on all sides. So any wind that you're going to get may not be the true wind direction. It's possible it's rotor. That's a fact. JP Tulo asked this question: how does Robert like the full face helmet? Don't know many people who use those. That is a downhill skateboard helmet, and I love it. It's really nice. It's my free flight helmet. Obviously, once the Unity headset comes out and they're mass producing and I get one, they are, that's going to be my flying setup. That'll be my go-to. But for now, I'm using that for vlogging purposes, so I can still record and hear my voice and put stuff together. Yeah. Nathan Sequoia mentioned the guy who died at Blossom 2 weeks ago, and very little information on that still. I did get to talk to some of the first responders, and I did find some details. A lot of checks that he went over the 3-strike rule. Obviously, he broke a lot of rules actually. And look, let me just, I'm going to throw in my little 2 cents about, some people will say, like, it's a sign. That's a sign that you shouldn't have been flying. I believe that there are things that you need to pay attention. Like that was kind of I'll say, some people will say, well, that's karma, or some people will say, God stopped me, or, I had intuition or whatever. Listen to those, man. Don't just blow those off. If you have an intuition that you're going to get hammered, you might as well listen to that and maybe chill a little bit, gear it back. There's a reason why that voice is talking to you. Phil Russman, he mentioned he was talking about the voice of darkness. And he said, the voice of darkness. Oh, mom donated $5 to the super chat. Thanks, mom. He talked about listening to the voice of darkness, and the voice of darkness tell you things like, oh yeah, you need to fly no matter what. You drove all the way out here, and the wind could be all scattywampus and crazy in your launch. And literally 2 seconds later, you take a collapse and blast yourself onto the ground. And then you mess up everybody else's flying adventure because you're all, splattered on the ground. Well, anyways, DP, thank you. $10 to the super chat. DP paying his alms.
He's paying to be on the show.
Yeah, he just did, literally. And he paid after, though. He got on before he paid. We love DP. Well, the guy showed up. Sounds like his vehicle, his 4-wheel drive vehicle, broke down in between launch and the bottom of the hill. And I just thought to myself, right there, like, you don't just ditch your broke down vehicle, you fix it, then you go fly. You don't just leave it. And he literally just walked away from it. So he was already mad. And somebody that was hiking up the hill to get to the first, we call it the bailout. It's the first launch you come to. It's usually where the vets will fly from, the OGs, because you can typically get up from there and you don't have to hike all the way to the top. Well, the guys that were there, one of them that was hiking up said, hey, something about, is your truck broke down? And the guy said, yeah. And he slammed his hood. And then he was kind of like, whoa, I'm messing with that guy. He's pretty upset. And so it sounds like he kind of rage launched. The other big mistake that I heard is that the guy had, now I feel bad because we're not really, I didn't plan on talking about this because I don't know enough information. But anyways, he went up to the top launch. So he kind of bypassed everybody that was at the bailout. And we're talking OGs. Phil Russman is there. The Bloom brothers were there. Some of these guys that have really, broke some records. Brad was there. Really good pilots. And the guy just kind of went right past him. And, it happens all the time. We'll be at the bailout, and guys with brand new A-wings will go hike up to the top, and they'll typically wait for the glass off. Well, if you know anything about Blossom, you don't launch before 5 o'clock in the summer because you're going to get blasted. It is on like Donkey Kong. You bring your wing up, there's a good chance you're going to get plucked and thrown on the ground, which is exactly what happened to the guy. And he was, as he was standing on launch, getting his stuff, there's another veteran hang glider pilot up there. Actually, he's been on the show before. And so it's John Heine, world record holder at one point for looping hang gliders. And he said, he goes, hey, he saw him fumble a launch, got plucked and slammed on the ground. And then, these guys trying to gather his stuff up. And so, you know, he could tell this guy's new. And the fact that he was flying a wing that was I believe they said it was a Gin from 1999. So it's an older wing, and it's a good possibility that he bought it on eBay or something like that. I also did hear that the guy had inquired about training, went to a training site, and the person that he went to said, hey, I'm not going to train. You're a little too haphazard. And I want to recommend that you don't try to fly, something along those lines. And he just decided, nah, I'm going to do that anyways. And so I don't know that he went and got formal training after that, but the person this is the first time I've actually heard of this, an instructor told somebody no and canceled him, said, no, I'm not going to train you. So he ends up going up the hill, and let's hit pause real quick. Sean, I forgot all about the wheel. We're past the half an hour mark. Let's spin the wheel.
Yeah, let's spin the wheel here.
Yeah, sorry about that. We'll pick up right where we left off.
It's all right, Bubba. It's all right.
Yeah.
So no more names in the wheel because
no
I've got
names.
it all filled up. All
Yeah.
right. Give me just a second here so that way I can share my screen. Once I get everything set up here on the finest of technology.
Yes.
Let's see here. Here we go. All right.
Get Mike S in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I got Mike S in there. Of course I do.
All right. You just showed up.
Oh yeah. Thank you, sir. Absolutely. Yes.
Welcome.
I did.
Mike
Here we go.
S.
Okay. Can you see the wheel, Robert?
Yep, I can see it.
Yeah, change it to
excellent.
Sean.
All right, here we go.
This is for some AMSOIL for all you paramotor folks.
The spin was brought to you by Calamity Kite Clinic. If you're looking to improve your ground handling skills, please look us up online, calamityKiteClinic.com, and on Facebook, Calamity Kite Clinic. Let's see who's going to win this. Ooh, I did some adjustments on the wheel too to make it a little exciting.
And it's clear. I like this. Very clear.
Ooh, who's it going to be?
It's funny when I see the names in the wheel and I'm like, wait, they're watching?
Slow down.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
No.
Oh man.
You like how I'm building the suspense?
Pretty greased. It's pretty greased.
I know.
Greasy wheel.
I know. What is going on here?
Not
Who
Eric.
is it going to be?
No,
What?
it's Kent.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
And winner, chicken dinner.
Congratulations, Kent Stamey.
Kent Stamey,
You are a winner,
congratulations.
sir.
Winner, chicken dinner. Congratulations. You are the winner. Go to the website, paraglidingtalk.com, and click the contact form with the details that you want me to send. Where do you want me to send your AMSOIL? You get your choice, by the way, Saber or Saber. That's what I'm going to send you. Okay.
Not for nothing, but I'd go for the Saber.
Yeah. Good choice. Good choice. You can't go wrong on that one.
You know, Saber is good stuff. I use the Saber, and my engine runs great on it.
Yeah, we don't actually know if it works or not, but that's what we're pushing these days.
Oh no, Robert, it works. I'm telling you, because my motor, it runs. It still runs. It runs great. And I haven't had to do much except for change the brass bushing. Other than that, immaculate.
Yep.
All thanks to
by the way,
AMSOIL.
I have to mention also Nebraska PBG, Josh Bowden. He runs a school in Nebraska. If you're interested in get some top-notch training, sign up with Josh Bowden and his team today. There's a link in the description. Also, this show is brought to you by iFly Indiana Powered Paragliding. If you're interested in flying paramotors, no better place to get the proper training than iflyindiana.com. Kevin and his team will get your feet off the ground. That's iflyindiana.com. Mention Lone Star Paramotor. They have a great school in the Lone Star state of Texas. Ron Turan runs that wonderful organization. If you want to get involved in some of the Texas flying, LoneStarParamotor.com is the website, and really appreciate their sponsorship. All you guys that are sponsors of the show, keep the show going, and especially the Patreon supporters. PayPal supporter. So appreciate you guys. Amazing. So back to let's wrap up that conversation about the Blossom. And a great question from Jim CR120 said, certainly there will be irresponsible pilots. When we see bad practices, how can we, if possible, be more effective in speaking up? Now, a couple people did. So this guy, I don't want to mention a name because I don't know enough whether his family was notified and all that stuff. So we're just going to keep it anonymous for now. But he gets a warning, and it was actually John Heine that said, hey, bro, you know, there's people down there waiting that are really, really good pilots, and they're waiting for a reason because it's too strong. You might want to wait. And what he did is he said, okay, and by the way, this is at about 3:50, 4 o'clock, something like that. We're talking like really, really strong, and it was hot. And so he decides he's just going to send it again. And he actually told Heine from this is third person. I'm not sure exactly how this went down, but it sounds like he told Heine like, okay, cool, I'm going to chill then. And then he kind of walked back over to launch, gathered up his stuff, pulled his wing up, and just sent it. So, yeah, he ended up launching. Sounds like he did okay flying around. But then he made a grave mistake, literally flew into the lee side of Amen Ridge. And Amen Ridge is this really sharp kind of hill. We use it to our advantage if you're in front of it, and you can be very low, and there's always a compression that kind of gets you up. I mean, we call it Amen Ridge because it's usually your last chance to get back up without having to hike. And that obviously on the backside of that, there's going to be a ton of rotor, and that's exactly where. And multiple people have gone down back there. He's the first person that I know that perished from flying into that rotor, and just not a good scene. One of the guys that was the first responder showed up. He hiked down from the top, got close to him, said, hey, got on radio, says, hey, I've checked this guy. He's pretty bloody. Looked like he had broke his neck. So he probably went head down first, and then no pulse. And so the fire department showed up from the bottom of the hill, hiked up to get him. And it was even worse was that he had his girlfriend with him. And so the guys drove her down to the bottom to try to, square away what was happening. She didn't know. And yeah, so he passed away. Sad story. But many different things, many fences were jumped to his demise. Many barricades were broken. And I argue that there were some signs that he blew off to go and send it on that day. Great question from Jim. Certainly there will be irresponsible pilots. When we see bad practices, how can we, if possible, be more effective in speaking up? Now, my first instinct, obviously, is we're just out there to have fun. You know, we want to enjoy fun. And I'll give you kind of an illustration. There's a group of motorcycle people that go. This is in Florida somewhere outside of Miami, and it's just a whole group of people that ride quads, three-wheelers, and dirt bikes, and some side-by-sides, and they just rip up and down this river side, and they just have a blast. You could tell it's really fun. And I just caught this one video, a thumbnail got me. It was a clickbait video, and it was a guy that was recklessly riding wheelies up and down this little strip where people had their camp set up, and the kids were out there playing. And the argument was that when the guy is up in a wheelie, he can't see the kids that are out there and see what's in front of him, really. So he's just relying on the road to kind of look at where he, and dragging his hand. And he's a really good motorcycle rider, but nevertheless, he got checked, and some people pulled their truck out in front of him and said, hey, you need to stop, bro. You need to chill. And they got in an argument, and one of the guys that pulled up to him had a GoPro going. So that's how it ended up in the video. But anyways, the the community is in charge of the community. If I could just say that there's a really good chance that the community is going to have your back if you decide to speak up. So that the hesitancy is always like, hey, I don't want to really say anything because I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be, I'm not a Karen, so I'm not going to say anything. But there is a line that you cross. So let me give you the illustration. Guy goes down. Guess what? That wrecked the rest of our flying day. I know that's very selfish of me to say, oh man, I have to land because you crashed. But it's happened a couple of times. We had a guy get rescued with a helicopter, and all of a sudden now we're in a TFR and we got to land. And this guy hiking up the hill, nobody could have known. Nobody there was going to stop him. It's free. It's America. You can do what you want. You can go fly if you want. We're all, certain times, certain sites, we're all poaching. But this guy particularly, someone did check him. Someone did ask him and say something to him. And unfortunately, it was game over.
Yeah,
so
depending on the time too, because you never know what's going through somebody's mind. With some people you can't tell them no, because you tell them no all day long, and they're still going to do it anyway.
Right.
But it's all about safe decisions, and mental check is one of those safe decisions in pre-flight before you do any kind of flying. Is, am I mentally capable of flying an aircraft and being able to focus solely on that? And be on my game.
Yeah. I'd say one of the key rules that he broke was obviously not talking to the locals. He didn't know. I mean, if he would have known about Amen Ridge, it could have been that place to avoid.
I saw somebody
go
mention
up there with a little bit, of I'm just going to do it anyway. Then maybe I don't know the story. I mean, I know partial story, but regardless,
it was gusty. All the guys said that it was really strong, like 15 to 20 mile an hour winds at 4:00 and intermittent. Those cycles are huge thermals blowing through, and it will kick your butt. So it's possible. And by the way, it was a hang glider pilot that was just circling around trying to help from the air, kind of coordinate with the first responders to get them down there. And I say first responders, it's literally just other pilots that went to go and help them try to administer some kind of medical aid. But I mean, it's disappointing. You have somebody that's haphazard, maybe flying old gear, deciding that he's going to fly even though he's mad. Emotions play a huge part in flying. You don't want to just show up and have just gotten a fight with your wife and you're going to send it. That's probably not a good idea. I mean, I would even argue you need to be careful what kind of music you're listening to when you're flying, because I'm guilty myself. I was jamming out at Torrey Pines one time and I was whipping the biggest wingovers. I mean, literally just on the border of barrel rolls and playing around. And all of a sudden I look, and out of the corner of my eye, there's a tandem right there. I'm like, whoa, tandem. Hey, didn't spook them. They were cool, but I spooked myself. And I was like, dude, I was just in a zone. And so there are certain things we obviously need to do. What can we do to be more effective in speaking up, to answer the question? I think it's a matter of just being bold enough to care enough, care enough to be bold. And obviously you have to kind of be that person, but do you care enough about the community that you're willing to stand up? Some people like it. They like confrontation. So if you're one of those people that likes confrontation, this is your chance to shine. Go and talk to them, jam them.
It goes to say, if you do make the attempt to say something and say, hey, dude, listen, I've been checking out the conditions here for a minute, and I'm telling you right now, this is a dangerous situation. If they go ahead and do their own thing and they're not going to adhere that advice, you can't feel responsible for them making their own decision. But at least you have the conscience of saying, you know what, I at least try to warn them and have them take a minute to view what's going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a conscience thing, you know. I don't doubt that he had been spoke to several times by several people. He just wasn't listening to it. And,
Yeah.
you know, it was a poor decision. And it's unfortunate. I hate to hear about poor decisions and how it affects everyone, but unfortunately, it's out there.
Nathan Sayakwa said this. He said, talk to the new faces at your site. Always talk to the locals when you're at a new site. It is so true. And I do this a lot of times. And I'm kind of privileged in that I can, because of the show and because of my YouTube channel, most guys already, if they're coming to Blossom, they already know me. So they'll come up and say, hey, what's up, Robert? I love your channel, whatever. And I'm always, you know, high fives and what's up. And that, but I will ask them right away because I've already had a couple people show up there that, like, one guy showed up without a helmet. And he's like, my friend told me about your channel and then I should fly here when I get here because you fly here. And I was like, oh, awesome. And he didn't have a helmet, and all the homies are over here. And I'm like, oh, hey guys, he's a subscriber. And they were like, he doesn't have a helmet. And I was like, yeah, I don't even know him. So I try to clean that mess up before it gets too crazy.
Now,
yeah,
Robert,
yeah,
there was a question. There
Yeah.
was a question in the chat. What is that? What does that shirt you have on say? What is that?
You know, one of the guys sent this to me. He said there are two different types of pilots: paramotor pilots and cagers.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. It's very comfortable, and I feel really bad right now. I cannot remember who sent this to me.
Are there any cagers in the chat? I like to know.
You know who's a cager?
Who?
There is a cager in there. Gyro
Will.
Jeffro.
Is that
Will
cager
flies
or
a
gager?
Oh, Will flies a cager. No
Will flies a
kidding.
cager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen videos with him in an airplane. He was giving a thumbs up and everything. Like, that's
Had
right.
no-
Making it
had no idea. Had no
Yeah.
idea. Then he's in a double decker or a biplane a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
That's
That's
what I'm
pretty
talking
cool.
about. He was giving a thumbs up and everything, drooling on his cheek and everything. It was wild.
Oh, he does that anyway.
No kidding.
Yeah, he's
JP2.
actually fessing up. He says, nothing wrong with cagers. I'm one. So yeah, it's all
I
good,
like that.
man.
Yep. Bob Porterfield, he said, I have a spare helmet, but it doesn't fit stupid. That's funny. I like that.
Yeah, did you offer the dude your helmet by any chance, or did you chastise
So
him?
he was in the air when I got there. And
Oh.
yeah, so, and it was pretty reckless time to be flying. It was like 4:30 or something like that in the summer. And so everybody was on the ground watching the show. And we're like, dude, that guy is crazy. And one guy's like, yeah, he doesn't have a helmet even. And I'm like, oh gosh. And at that point, I had no idea who he was. And you know, I'm all geared up. I get all strapped in. I got my helmet on. I'm ready to rock and roll. And all of a sudden he comes like kind of aggressively bringing his wing down so he can land at the bailout. And I'm like, oh gosh, here he comes. He's going to hit us. And we're all like, oh, you know, nervous about his landing. And then he kind of just stuffed it and landed in the bushes and grabbed his stuff, came, you know, stumbling up. And he's like, it's a little bumpy out there. And I was like, yeah, man, it's a little early to be flying. Did you get a site briefing? And he was like, yeah, I did. I got a site briefing. I looked up the details on the website. And I was like, oh no, that's not a site brief. Somebody needs to talk you through this, but it's a little early to be launching. And he was like, yeah. And you know, nobody there was going to be like, hey, you need to put on a helmet. Nobody there really said anything right then. And it was about 5 o'clock. I think we all started pulling our wings up and flying. But after he flew again and kind of had a close call or two, somebody stopped him and said, hey, bro, why don't you have a helmet? And I can't remember what the guy's answer was. I think he said something. I forgot it back in Texas or something. Anyways, not a good idea. But to each his own. You don't want to fly with a helmet? Guess what? It's America. You don't have to wear a helmet. You can do whatever. You do you, boo. I have hit my head a few times, and I was grateful for having a helmet on, especially in the beginning days. What'd you say, Dave?
I think that was my wife or something. I don't know.
Oh, you do you, boo. Yeah. So lots of hairspray. Yep. You don't need a helmet.
Now let's remind everyone to please hit
Oh.
that like button on
Hmm.
the bottom of the video.
I'm looking for
If
the
you
likes
enjoy
right
the
now.
show.
Except for Eric Lear, because he already did, and he's going to cry if we keep telling him.
Who's that?
Saying,
Who's
Eric
Eric?
Lear, Eric PPG.
Eric
Lear.
Lear. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
Well,
Flying Flamingo Jade's husband.
okay, Eric. I like Eric.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah. All right. Good. I'm glad he's watching. Slow days. Robert, don't know if I missed it, but no reserve or too low. Yeah, no, he did not throw reserve. When you take a collapse and you wind up, it happens fast, man. So especially if you're flying an old crappy wing, I wonder if you even had one. But there'll be a report coming soon, likely. So, yeah. Craig Taylor's in the chat. Craig, welcome. He said, yo, I was snoring. That's funny. Yeah. Oh, it's 7:01. We're going to go to the after show. Great show. By the way, the show is brought to you by Torrey Pines Glider Port. If you want to learn how to free fly in the most beautiful place in the United States, reach out to Max Marion or any of the guys at Torrey Pines. Also, this show is brought to you by Resurgence PPG. We mentioned them earlier in the show, but if you want to go to their website, it's resurgencepppg.com. Todd Scandrett. Stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled. Thank you guys so much. If you want to join the after show, you're welcome to do that. Join the after show. We're going to hang out for a little while longer. And if I don't see you on the air, I'll see you in there. Paraglidingtalk.com.